Let me move you guys off the screen. Okay, so basically, when you go to your dashboard, so everybody should be able to get to the back end of their website. So you should be able to put in your username. Mine is 172, but yours will be your username .webcsit.net slash, and then whatever folder you put it in. I put it in WP. I think Kelly, you put it in new. Um, so whatever folder you put it in, that would be the slash. And then if you need to sign on, you would type in this WP admin, and that would bring you to the username and password that should be the same username and password that you had for your cPanel. If it's something different, as long as you remember it, that's perfectly fine, because I won't be able to tell you what your username and password is if you didn't use what I asked you to use in class. Okay. From there, we have the dashboard, which I call the back end of the website. And then if you hold your control or command key and click, you should open up a tab that shows you the front end of your website. So you should have two tabs open for me tonight, the front of your website and the back of your website. Now, this could be the one that you want to be using for your final, or this could be the website that you just want to be using in class. I don't care. You can make multiple websites on this cPanel. You just probably want to put them in separate folders so that they aren't just sitting all on top of each other. Posts are new content, or content that is going to continually be um, um, adding new posts to something. So like you might do a series. I'm doing a series for one of my clients is profiles on vendors. Okay, so every week I put out another post that is a profile on one of the vendors for her antique show that she's going to have. So we try to highlight something. And so as you go forward, all of the posts just keep accumulating. You can have posts be seasonal posts where they are for the whole season, they're holiday posts. You could have posts that be almost anything. Okay. The one thing that helps people find your posts is the categories. And we talked about categories being the first level of being found with browsers. Okay, so it is one of the first levels. It's the high level. Okay, so the very high level terms that you would be searching for. So if you think about it, if I'm searching for a car, okay, I might start with car, and then I might go in and put the type of car that I want. So if I wanted to have like a Honda, that would be the tag. That would be the more specific term that I'm searching for, or I'm looking for a Honda that's a 2000. Okay, I'm looking for a really old Honda. So that is where the tags come in, is they are the more specific terms that allow people to find your post. So posts are always, you're always adding to them. Okay, they're always changing. They are put into the home page, or they are put into the post page. So how this works is if you have a blogging website, your home page is usually where all the posts show up. If you are not having just a blogging website and you're having a website that does, you have your home, your about, you have your FAQs, you have your services, and then you have your blog page, those other pages, the home, the about, the services, the FAQs, are static pages pretty much. The information on them stays the same most of the time. Not saying it can't change, but most of the time when somebody comes there, they come there on Monday, they come there on Tuesday, they go there on Wednesday, the page is exactly the same, right? But if you go to the blog post page, that is where all the posts are throwing in there. So if you write a post every day, that page can look different. It can actually accumulate more information in that blog post page. You cannot edit a post from the blog post page. You have to go back to the post over here in the dashboard to edit a post. If you're on the post page, you will not be able, so if I come over here and I see my post page here, I will not be able to edit any of the posts from this page. I have to go into the post menu item over here on the dashboard to be able to edit a post. Did that answer your question?
Okay.
Yes or no?
Okay. Yes.
Oh, okay. Okay, thank you. Okay, so that is where a lot of people get confused is they think they can go into the post page and make modifications to the post page, and you won't be able to. Now, with the full site editing themes, and we are on a full site editing theme now. So if you go to the dashboard, so everybody follow me, go to the dashboard. And when you go to the dashboard, I told you the center part is the content area. This at a glance will tell you what theme you are on. Okay. And I did switch themes to 2022, but you guys are probably on 2024. Is that right? Can I get some thumbs up to say that's right for you guys?
Yes.
So everybody should be able to see that. I'm going to have to do something here because I'm not seeing everybody. I don't know why this does this. Okay, there we go. Okay, so here it shows you how many posts you've created, how many pages you've created, if there are comments out there. So this, if it's a live site, how many comments are out there, and comments that are waiting to be okayed. So the moderation of those comments, basically you're saying, hey, I don't want the comments to go out on my website until I approve them. And that is a very good thing to do. Okay. And then this shows you what version of WordPress you're on. So we're on 6.2.2. And I'm going to do this. I'm going to make mine a little bit bigger so that you guys can see things a little bit better. Is that too big? Just kind of got in your face there, didn't it? So this is the at a glance. And again, you guys can move that up or down on your website. The one thing that's really nice is that you guys can look at the site health. Okay, so you wouldn't be logging into cPanel. This isn't cPanel. cPanel was only the first day. If you need to get to your website, it will be your username. Okay, so right here in this URL, where mine says 172 at the top here, yours will be your username .webcsit.net, and then it'll be slash WP or whatever your folder was slash WP admin. You won't have that index there. And that
I
will
yeah, sorry, I've got it now.
uh,
The link just wasn't picking up the like little 4-number pin with the domain.
oh,
So it was
okay.
just taking me straight to like the website login, but I've got it now.
Okay, so
Yeah,
you
sorry.
at the dashboard. Okay, perfect. Okay,
Yeah.
perfect. That's great. Thank you. Thank you for stopping me. Okay. So we're looking at all the themes 2022 to 2024 are full site editing themes. What that means is with themes here, I will come down to the word appearance or the menu item appearance. And when I drop down the two menu items under here, it shows me the themes that are available. Okay. And it shows me editor. Okay. We used to, when we were doing our WordPress.com and we were on the 2020 theme, we were able to see the customizer. And the customizer allows us to make modifications to the website. Okay. But it doesn't allow us to physically change the layout of the pages. With full site editing themes, it allows you to make changes to the layout of the whole page, the header, the body, and the footer. Okay. With the previous themes like 2020 that we were playing with on 2 weeks ago. Yeah, 2 weeks ago. This is our third week. 2 weeks ago, in WordPress.com, that had a customizer that allowed us to make modifications and make some changes to colors and fonts and things like that. But with this theme, we would be making those changes in the actual pages or posts. So it just kind of changes the editor and the way you work with it. In some ways, okay, there's like six half dozen. You have to decide which one you want to go with and then how you want to work with your website. This is going to be a personal preference, I think, down the line on how people are going to be working with themes and which themes they want to work with and which ones they don't want to work with, and whether they're going to work with another option with themes is page builders. Okay, so you have multiple options that you can work with WordPress. You don't have to stick with just those two, but we're going to look at both of those two tonight. Okay, so what I would like you guys to do, if you search right here with this little search box at the top right here, this just searches the installed themes in your library for your website. What I want us to do is add a new theme. And I want to go back to that 2020 theme so that you guys can see the difference with that. So I want to add a new theme, and this will open up the repository of vetted themes from WordPress.org. Okay, these are the vetted themes from WordPress.org. That being said, just because they are vetted, okay, doesn't mean they're going to be the perfect theme for you guys to use. Okay, just because they're vetted doesn't mean they're going to be the perfect one for you to use. There are ways that you can look at them. There's 6,871 themes when I just look at all of the themes out there, but that doesn't mean that's the only number of themes out there. There's Oh, probably 50, 60,000 um, themes out there. Some of them are really bad. Some of them are really, really good. Some of them have never been updated since the year they were created. So you have to do what I call is vet the themes. And that just is to make sure they work for you and they are still being updated and they work with the current version of WordPress. Okay. So vetting the themes is your responsibility. Okay. When we were on WordPress.com on the first night of class, the themes were all vetted by WordPress.com, the automatic, okay? And they wouldn't let you use anything that didn't work with the current version of WordPress. Okay, so they had already done all the work for you. Here, when you own the website, you're responsible for doing all the work, and that's where vetting a theme is very important. So here you can kind of scroll down and just see, I mean, lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of different looking and feeling themes as you just kind of look here. And if you remember, WordPress started off as a blogging platform. So a lot of these looks and the way they are set up is to be for bloggers. Okay, so you just have to be aware that maybe this front isn't going to be what your front page will look like, but it would work with the way the blog would work. It also determines, like here I'm looking at this one, would determine on, like we talked about feature images when we put in a post, and a feature image was on that right panel there. And that is how themes, it's very theme dependent on how it displays the feature image. So it may display the feature image over here, okay, in the post page, but then when you click on the post, that feature image may not actually show in the post. Okay, so that is very theme dependent in how they use the feature image. Like these big header or hero images, that could be a post, but it also could be a home page. So you would have to actually vet these and determine if these are going to work for you. So I'm going to go all the way back to the top. And there is a filter that you can actually use. You can look at the popular ones. You can look at the latest ones. The latest ones are probably all going to be in the full site editing mode. So if you think you want to go that route, these will be the ones that you will want to use for your website. Block themes. Block themes are going to be using the Gutenberg block editor. That has been around since 2018, I think. So it is kind of new to the WordPress people, but it is getting to be pretty popular with people that are coming in and using it. And then the favorite ones. So you could actually, these would be the ones that you had captured as your favorites. Okay, then you can filter them based on things you want the theme to do. I will let you know in this class, we are not going to build an e-commerce website. We just don't have time to go through the e-commerce plugins. So that's the one thing I will ask you. Do not try to give me an e-commerce website. You can play with e-commerce if you want on your own, but I will not be going over e-commerce with you guys. It's just that's another whole 5-week class. Um, so you could do like entertainment, you could do education. I pretty much stick with education because I'm doing about my puppies again. And then you can say, okay, do I want block patterns, editor block patterns? Do I want custom backgrounds? Do I want custom colors, custom headers? I figure if I get the block patterns and custom headers, I'll probably be happy. Okay. And then I usually like to have multiple columns, at least at my desktop to have multiple columns. So this is also based on your layout. If you are only going to have a layout with 2 columns, you don't need to get a theme that will allow you to have 3 columns. So you might click that or not click it. Be careful. The more you click here, the less themes that are going to show up. So if I apply the filter, it thinks, and then it brings up 56 themes out of that 6,000 themes that were out there. So these are the themes that follow the filters that I put in there. Okay. So this is all the ones that followed what I put in there. So I'm going to go back up. And then you can edit the filters by unchecking things and then applying just a single filter and seeing I get 600 themes now, 641 themes. So it is a good way to go through and see if there are themes out there that have a look and feel that you like. The next thing is when you find a theme you like, okay, you will click on the actual image here and it brings up the word detail and preview. And if you click on that, over here on the left, it will give you information about this theme. And if you go to the bottom, sometimes the bottom or the top, it tells you who wrote this theme. So I could search this person, copy that, go over to Google search, paste that. See if I find this. Oh, there they are. They are still out here. So that makes me feel better. Let me go look and see if their website is up to date. Sometimes you click on their website and it's not there anymore. Okay, so secure professional WordPress themes. This makes me feel a lot more confident about that theme. These are themes that you can purchase from them. Um, Obviously, they have them on sale right now, so that's kind of nice to know. Do be aware that when you purchase a theme from these theme vendors, that's a yearly fee to get updates. That is usually a yearly fee. So this $39, the first time you get it, will be $39, and then the renewal fee will probably be 64. Okay, and that's to get the updates. And because WordPress is dynamic and WordPress is always changing, you need to have a theme that gives you updates all the time. So be aware that if you pay for a theme, that initial cost, it's not just a one-time thing. It's usually yearly. It used to be when I started way back in the dark ages, they would give you the theme for that price and they do all the updates for as long as the theme was around. Now they have found out that it's costly for them to keep a theme up to date. So for their time and their effort to keep the theme up to date with the current version of WordPress, they do usually charge you a yearly. Okay, so there's light, support, premium, and a bundle. So you can get different themes. You can get 10 different themes. So you might even look into something like that if you were looking at one of their themes and you really think you want to go with a theme developer, and have them build the look and feel or the layout of your website. Okay. But this is how I vet them. This is a really good way to say, hey, this person is still around. And then the other thing you can do is you could go into, a lot of the times they have this contact. Just go contact them and just make sure they respond to you. Say, hey, I'm looking at this theme. I'm curious about buying it. And then if they respond to you, you know they're watching their website and they're watching their contacts. If they don't respond, because like hasn't been updated since 2022, this person may not be around anymore. They may have done theme development while they were in college, and then they got a full-time job, and so then now they don't work on these anymore. So this is just something, a good way to vet them. And if you want to put money out for things, I definitely recommend you contact the people before you put money out. Always contact them and make sure that you're with somebody that's going to be around for a while. I have clients that are on a theme that updates regularly, and like as soon as WordPress updates, it updates, boom, 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 no problem. And I do have one client that has been sitting on a theme. Um, it's pretty old now, and WordPress keeps updating. And I know WordPress is going to update some of its code. Its core code is pretty strong, so this theme developer based it based on how the core theme was all set up. So their website has not broken, but I tell them because they're just saying, hey, when it breaks, we'll rebuild, but they don't want to rebuild until then, and that is just like it's like one of those things. I'm like, it's a nightmare waiting to happen. But you you live and learn, and that's what's going to happen one of these days. It's going to break, but not much you can do about it. Okay. So let's go back to themes. This was this land one. I think this is really interesting. It shows me what the posts are going to be like. It tells me the elements. It will tell me what the heading elements and stuff are going to look like, and I can kind of see what the heading elements and um, all of the um, information about the post is going to look like. It's going to show me what the buttons and the rollovers are going to look like. So I kind of have a feeling of what's going on here. I can kind of look at it and just kind of get a feel. It shows me what a footer could look like. It's very interesting. At this point, this theme has not been rated. If I want to install it, I could install it, but that just installs it into my theme library. It does not activate it until I activate it. So any code I put on my WordPress website, if I install it, it means it's just code sitting in my server and it's not activated until I activate it. Um, Great way to test out themes and see if you like them or you don't like them, if you like what they do or you don't like what they do. It's a really good way to test things out. Once you figure out what theme you want, though, you're not going to want to keep all this extra code out there because leaving extra code out there is just a security risk. So you don't want to do that. Okay, so there was one. We did the preview and details. And that was just based on something that I was looking at. I actually like that headset one. That's kind of interesting. I do like how this looks. It gives me, looks like I got a nice big um, hero image that I can put up here. My rollovers are pink and black, so they show up really well. I'm trying to see what else. It does have some shortcodes here that it does look like it allows you to use for captions and stuff. So it does have a little different and it looks a little different than the other one. I think I'm going to just go ahead and install this one and I'll come back and look at it in a second. Okay, I'm not going to activate it. And then I know the name of the theme I'm looking for, so I'm going to clear this. And I'm going to look for the 2020 theme. So I would like you guys all to install the 2020 theme with me so that we're all going to install the same theme. So this is our welcome to Swiss Modern Art. This is just so that you guys will see a theme that has a customizer and we can talk a little bit about that. So go ahead and install that. Okay, so I'm going to wait and just let you guys all make sure that you get that installed. I'm going to go back to my appearance. And when I look at the appearance, I have theme and editor as two sub menu items under appearance. Okay. When I look at that with the 2022 theme or the 2024 theme, you should have theme and editor. You guys might have something else. It is very theme dependent what menu items you'll have underneath here. Okay. Does everybody have the 2020 theme installed? It does not have to be activated yet, but I want you to look at the appearance under the theme that you're in right now and also have the 2020 theme installed.
I have 4 teams. Is that okay? I mean, as long as we have the 2020, we're okay, right?
I want the 2020 theme installed. Yes. Here. So
Okay.
this is your
Okay,
theme
perfect.
library. You should probably have 4 themes here because the 2020 is the only other one I told you to install. Okay. Okay,
Okay.
then I want you to go over here to appearance and see what items. What do you guys have here under 2024? I'm going to go back and activate 2024. Okay, so you have themes and editor under 2024, correct? Does anybody have anything else under appearance?
No.
Perfect, perfect.
Okay. So once we activate it or before we activate it?
Okay, before you're not activating, so we can tell the 2024 theme is active because over here it says active for the 2024 theme. So that's the theme I want you on right now. And I want you to check appearance and tell me what you see under here.
I see patterns, customized widgets, menus, background, and all that.
Are you on the 2024 theme?
2024 or 2020?
2024.
Oh,
Did you
no.
activate the 2020, Kelly? Just leave it. If you activate it,
Oh,
just
yeah.
leave it. Okay.
Okay,
You're
okay, sorry.
you just knew I was going to tell you guys to activate it. So you just did it. Okay? So that's fine. So we're going to go ahead and activate the 2020 theme. And when you activate the 2020 theme, look at how this changes. So based on the theme that you're using, this will actually change, and it will change a lot, okay? And you will get this custom or customizer, which allows you to customize the look and feel of the web pages. And sometimes it lets you change the header and footer, and sometimes it doesn't. Okay, so that's going to be very dependent on the theme. So this is very theme dependent. And knowing that there's probably about 50,000 different themes out there, this appearance could look really different for every single theme. So if you start working with WordPress clients, they could have different themes. And so then you are going to have to kind of get kind of a feel of, okay, when I go into appearance, what can I change? What do I have to code? What comes with the website? What doesn't come with the website theme that they're using? Okay, because they're not going to want you to switch themes just because you like a theme better. Okay, they're going to want to stay with the themes they feel comfortable with. Okay, and that or was built for them. So let's just say we're going to go start with the customizer, and this is will allow us to do some full site editing, but it isn't necessarily a full site editor theme. Okay, so we knew 2024, 2023, and 2022 are all full site editing themes. This one has kind of some built-in hard-coded way the layout looks. Okay, but it does come with some patterns, so we will be able to make some modifications. So let's look at the customize real quick, because the customize opens up another menu that I really am a little sad that they got rid of with the full site editing, because it gives you so many strong and helpful features. Okay, and it gives you features on both sides that you can look at. So if you see these little pencils in the content area, that will take you to a menu item over here on the left. And you will notice that the menu changed to white and it's not black anymore. So when you're in the customizer, this changes. You have little arrows or greater than symbols. If you click on those fly out a menu of things or options that you can do. If you click to the left, it takes you back to the menu. If you go multiple layers down in there, you have to go multiple layers back out of it. So it's kind of like an in and out kind of thing. But if you're done making your changes, there's this publish button at the top that lets you publish your changes. So anytime you make changes until you publish them, they don't take effect. So if I clicked this X button before I published it and went back to the black menu here on the dashboard, it wouldn't have made those changes. So in the customizer, it will have the white menu. It will have the greater than symbol to have you go down into the items. You can select a logo. You can change the site title. You can change the tagline right here. So if you don't like any of those, and you can also see that these pencils take you to those different areas. Okay, so the logo, sightline, and tagline. You can see that I have my favicon that is being used, and it's saying you can use, and this is what's really nice, is sometimes it gives you this information in here and tells you what you need. I need a 512 by 512 ping or JPEG to create this favicon. It does not have to be an ICO, an icon file anymore. So we can use a ping or a JPEG there. You can select an image for my logo. I ported a puppy dog. That will put in the logo instead of the puppies 2024. That would be something if you have a recognizable logo that people will understand, kind of like the Nike logo. Everybody, if you see that Nike swoosh, knows it's Nike, right? But if you see this puppy dog, you will not know that this is Puppies 2024. Okay, my logo does not have recognition right now. So since my logo doesn't have recognition, I would probably need to have the logo with the name inserted in it if I'm going to use the logo only. So I'm going to remove it and just use the name right now because I don't have my logo with both of those in there. Okay, that's just kind of a take on it. So that is how I would do the initial. So if you go into settings, this would be the general settings when we were in the appearance. Last week when we were looking at appearance, we had the availability to do this also. Site identity. The next thing is colors. So this allows me to open up color pickers and change the colors. If you remember when we were in WordPress.com and we tried to change colors, it was telling us we were going to have to upgrade. Here, because we own our own website, it lets us change the colors to whatever we want. And this is where you guys had your hexadecimal numbers and you would be able to put in your hexadecimal number here. So, okay. I didn't want that, but okay. I want a brown. And then you can kind of go with some general colors and then kind of pick from those. I kind of like the browns, but I don't like the browns. So this is where I could sit here all night and play with colors. The other thing is your header and footer background. So this is my footer right here, and this is my header up here. And if I change those colors, so I'm going to just change them to black real quick so that you can actually see what encompasses my header, what encompasses my footer, and then this would be the body, the background color of the body of the page. Okay, so that's what that is doing for me. So I'm going to go back to white. So you could also do custom colors if you wanted to change those. Okay, so those were the colors that it allows me to change. And again, each customizer for each theme is going to be different. It's very theme dependent. So this takes me into it. This takes me out. So the arrow going to the right takes me into making my changes. The arrow on the left takes me out of making my changes. The publish button being blue is telling me I haven't published it yet.
How did you select the header again in order
Oh,
to make color change?
when right here, the header and footer colors.
Oh, okay.
I just clicked on that color box. Does that help?
Yes.
Okay. So actually, I'll leave that there. It's kind of rich looking, isn't it? Okay,
Oh,
so that's one thing to say, right? Theme options. This allows you to show the search in the head part, so in the menu. So right here, because I've made this bigger, you're probably seeing what this looks like as a tablet. If I take this back down, you can see that this is my menu and there's the search icon that they're saying show the search in the header. If you don't want to have people search through your website with that search, you can click that off and that will take the little search icon off. If you want to show the author bios, you can actually show them or you don't have to show them. I normally don't show the author bios unless I have a profile page and then I put the bios there. Okay. On archive page, full text or a summary, because archive pages are going to get to be pretty full, especially if you're pretty good about putting posts out every couple days. A summary is probably going to be good enough, and then you can click on them to see them if you want to. So those are my options, but you may want to do different. If you are going to put a post out once a month, the full thing's probably perfectly fine. I just like the summary myself. So again, um, to the left to go into theme options, to the right to go out. Theme options and what you have for theme options will be very theme dependent. You guys are going to get so sick of me saying that. It is so theme dependent on what you can change and what you can't change. Okay, the next one is the cover template. Fix background images, creates a parallax effects. If you want to do that with an image, you can set up an image that. You can set the overlay colors, the text colors, the overlay text colors, and the opacity. So you could have that change or not change. That I'm trying to see if I see anything on this page that would actually show us that. I don't have anything on this page that's going to show me the cover template. So that's not actually giving me anything that I can actually see I made a change to. Background image. You can set up a background image that would show across all your pages. Probably don't want to have that. It could be one of those things again where I was talking about the backgrounds should push up your content. If the backgrounds are so distracting that people are trying to figure out what the background is doing or what it is, not a good idea. Okay, so just be very subtle with your backgrounds. Okay, menus. Okay, menus. This we did on the first night of class is we created menus with WordPress.com because we used the 2020. So we can create a menu here. So here, this is kind of nice is because when we're in menus under the dashboard, it doesn't let us add items or pages to the menu. Here it lets us add pages. With full site editing, it does let us add pages though. So there is some like different places that you can do it. And I'll try to show you that too. So here we name the menu. With this theme, you name your menus. Like if you have footer menus, you have header menus, if you have sub menus or you have social menus, you can name them. Name them something that means something to you or that will mean something to somebody if you hand this off to somebody. You don't want to create the name of a menu, something that somebody won't be able to understand. So if I put top nav, most people are understanding this as the top navigation, and that is dealing with these two items, these two page items that are sitting at the top of the web page and should be at the top of every web page that we go to. I will say that I want it at a horizontal. It does have the desktop expanding. You can play with that. I'm also going to want it on the mobile menu, and I'm not going to put it in the footer. Okay, so those are the two places that I'm going to want it to see. I want to see it when it's at mobile, and I want to see it at desktop. Okay, then it goes to next, and when it goes to next, and if you guys are following along with me, you want to name the menu, and then you want to pick the menu location. Okay, name the menu and then pick the menu location. And then you're going to, at the bottom here, the bottom left of this gray box, there's the word next, and you're going to click the word next. And that's going to add or let you add items to the menu. and you will notice that your menu up here on your page disappeared now. Okay, your menu up here on the page disappeared. So what I'm going to do is add items, and I'm going to select the home and my fostering news, but I also want to add some new pages. So I'm going to put in services, and that's going to add it to the bottom. And I'm going to add in FAQs. Okay. So this is where you guys would create your site maps, and this would create pages that don't have, they're blank pages that would allow you to have these, but it doesn't necessarily mean they're in the order you want them to be. You can also pull in custom links. So if I wanted to pull in a link out to Wayside Waifs or some other place that people foster puppies from, I could put in a custom link about maybe fostering resource, and I would put in Wayside Waif fostering page. Okay, so this just lets me put in what I want the link to be, and then I'm just going to put in. I know that. I don't know the Wayside Waste one, but I could look it up. But this just lets me put in the HTTPS, the URL, where I want it to go, and then this would be my link, and it would add that as a custom link here. So I have the availability to put in custom links, pages, posts, categories, and tags. Sometimes people put in categories because they are selling things and they want people to see the category of certain products that they're selling. Okay, so everybody should have at least 5 pages here for us to play with. Okay, so you should have at least 5 pages here for us to play with. They don't have to be the same pages. They could be the pages that you guys selected for your um, final project. So if you want to go ahead and create a menu for your final project, this is one of the first ways you can do it. To move these around, again, you just find the four-headed arrow and click and drag. You just slowly drag it to where you want it to be. So this gives you the availability to put the menu items. So these are my top level menu items, the ones that are as far to the left as they can be. The ones that are indented toward the right a little bit, those are my sub menu items. Okay, so I have my main menu items and then I have my sub menu items. And that creates the menu for you. So
How did,
everybody,
oh, sorry.
no, go
How
ahead.
did you do the sub item?
Okay, so the sub item was just a main menu item that was sitting over here, and I just pulled it gently to the right a little bit, and it became a sub item.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so I find the slower you move with these, I mean, you could probably move them and put them in order fast, but put them in the order that you want them to be in. But this is with the customizer. Okay, so this is with the customizer and how the customizer works. So we're done adding menu items here. Okay, you can actually look down here and make sure that this is still the same way you want it. When you're done with this, you're going to click the left arrow to get out of the name of the menu that you were in. Okay, whatever you named your menu, and then you're going to click it again to get back to the menus options. You will notice that since we haven't hit the publish button, it will not be in the order that you want it to be in yet. Let's go ahead and once you are done creating your menu, go ahead and publish that just so that we get those changes so that we can see them. It's just kind of nice to be able to see those. So you want to make sure it says published. So that shows you that you have published your work so far. So everything we've done so far has been saved. Okay. Widgetized areas. Down here, if you click right here, these are the widgetized areas, and you have the availability to modify these. And you might have a website that allows you to have two widgetized areas or one widgetized area in the footer. Some have no widgetized areas. When you are looking at the customizer, this widgets will allow you to see how many areas that this theme allows. And this allows footer 1 and footer 2, which are two widgetized areas. And if you look, it gives you the availability to modify those widgetized areas. And it tells you can use blocks to put blocks of information in here. I got it. And then it shows me what's here. So if I come here, that is the search box that's sitting right there. I have the availability to modify this if I want. Just like I do blocks on a page, I can move it up and down, put it somewhere else in this widgetized. Maybe I want it at the bottom instead of at the top. Okay, so that just lets me search the whole website. Recent posts. This allows me to see the recent posts that are out there. Maybe I want this, maybe I don't. If I don't want this, so actually that's the title for the recent post. If I got rid of that, come down here and delete that. And then I could come here and delete that. That gets rid of those. And then it shows me comments. Okay. So I have the availability to add items or delete items from here. It puts them in the same way that I was putting them on a post or a page. So I could come in here, I could grab an image, I could go to my media library, and let's say I want this puppy dog here, and I could show this puppy dog here in my footer. Okay, so this would just be maybe the waif or the foster of the week or whatever. So whatever foster is you're looking at. So you have the availability to change that, delete it, replace it. So I could come in here once a week and replace this image. Okay, once I'm done and I'm happy, I can hit publish. Scroll back. So you have a scroll bar right here. You're going to have to scroll back to the top to get to your arrow key to go back and your arrow key to go back. So those are the widgetized areas. Again, very, very, very theme dependent on how many widgetized areas you have. Some themes have no widgetized areas. Okay. Pages. So this allows me to say whether I'm going to do a blog homepage. So my homepage will have all of my blog posts on it. So this is your homepage would have all of your blog posts on it. So this would be a blogging website. Or you can do a static page and pick which pages, your home page and your news page as the post page and your home page. And then publish that. Does that make sense when I was talking about your home page would be Your homepage would be where all the blog posts would dump into. Okay, that is what that is normally set with a lot of themes. They let the homepage be where all the posts dump into. If you want to create a website, you have to have more than a single page. Okay, and then additional CSS. This allows you to decide based on what item you want to change. So if I wanted to change all of my H1s to be this gold color here, first of all, let me find out what that is. That was underneath my colors, and that's this number. So I'm going to just copy that number. Copy. Okay, then CSS. This is like when you guys did your HTML and your CSS. This allows you to create one place to put CSS. And this is a really good place to make global CSS opposed to doing it per page or per post. This just gives you a way to put it globally across the whole website. It kind of creates um, a CSS page or CSS file for you. Okay, so I'm going to just go ahead and pop that in there so I don't lose that. And then I'm going to come here and I'm going to inspect this and see what this theme is calling this. Now I know it's an H1, but some themes sometimes will add some other selectors on top of the H1 that you have to add to get it to work. Okay, so to do that, I am going to right click my page and inspect. Okay. And my inspector is on a mini iPad, which I really don't want. So I'm going to go responsive. And I'm going to make this nice and big so I can see everything. Most of the time when you guys have, when you right click, this will be over on the right or the left of your browser. You can change where it is on your browser um, based on some icons that are sitting, like here, like show the styles on the side. So you can actually, well, those are the computed styles. Where is it? It's usually sitting right here.
I think it's those three dots by the gear
Oh,
icon.
thank you. Okay, so yeah, and so this allows you to put it at the top, the left, the bottom, or the right. And so I always dock mine at the bottom. It just makes it easier for me to um, work with it. If it's on the left or the right, most of the time it's going to squish it up and so that it's in a mobile format. And if I just want to see something, a lot of times I don't want it to be in the mobile format. So then you're going to use the selection tool over here. Yours might be different depending on which browser you're using, but the selection tool will let you roll over things and it will give you information. So this one is an H1 and it has a class of entry dash title. So this is the H1 entry title. So that is what I want to change is the H1 entry title. So when I come over here, so now I'm going to close this. So now I know that's my selector. So it's H1 dot entry dash title. And this is where I open and close my squiggly brackets. And this is going to be my color. So this would be the color of the text color and colon, and then my semicolon so that if I ever decide I want to put in extra code in here, this just allows me to put in extra code. So this is a good way to know, based on this theme, this H1 entry title, I have changed the entry title and it is pretty much global. It's going to be global across all the pages. So if I publish that, and I go to services, I go to fostering. Well, that because these are, I'd have to find out what the H1 titles are for. And I would probably want them to be that color because they would not look good. It would look pretty bad. But for my pages like services and home, and then if I come down to FAQs, come here, it will change all of those. So you just kind of have to know where you're looking and what you're looking at. I would not want my H1s inside the body here to be that gold color because then they disappear, right? That would not be a good thing. Okay, questions? So everybody should have a menu and everybody should have been able to find, everybody should have a menu and everybody should have been able to make some change. And you could also do a background color change too if you wanted to. You could put in the background. Why don't, let's see, what would that be? What my selector wouldn't be background, but I could put in a background color here. I think I'm going to put in 3s. And so that gray puts in a background color for me. So I could put in a background color, I could put in padding, I could do all that fun stuff if I wanted. So this just gives you the option to make changes. Just be aware. It will tell you if it thinks you're doing something wrong. But you could find out for your pages and stuff if you wanted to, like what the selector is for this part of the body, this section of the body is, and you can make the background color there. But we're going to show you other ways where you can make those changes too with the block editor at the page level and post level. Okay, I'm going to publish that. Get out of the customizer. Okay. What I would like you guys to do is it's about break time. Okay. So we're going to take a break for about 10 minutes, but I'm going to give you 10 minutes to do something before we go. Okay. So before we go, I'd like you guys to find 2 or 3 themes and try to determine based on the 2 or 3 themes you have, what they are. Okay. So if you would put in for me whether they're full site editing, based on this is not full site editing. If you find a customizer, it's not full site editing. Okay. So we'll come back and I'll show you how we can modify with full site editing. But if you see this, okay, and all these options, it's a customizer. If it's full site editing, full site editing. So if you guys could go through in the comments here in chat, after you pick a theme, pick 3 themes. List the themes for me, like just the name of the theme, and just say full site or customizer, full site or customizer. Okay, and that way we can talk about them when we come back from break, which will come back from break at 7:30. Is that fair? And take your 10-minute break in there sometime.
Back in action.
Can you see it now?
Yes.
Awesome. Okay. So I don't know what you can hit on your end to stop seeing my screen. That's very interesting. Um, so what we did is we activated the 2024 theme. We had the 2020 theme and we went through and did the customizer. Now we're going to activate the 2024 theme. We have the theme and the editor. And we're going to go ahead and look at the editor. Now, the one thing that I just want to kind of talk about is that WordPress is a little different in the way that it builds pages compared to the way you would build a page if you were building a page in HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. You would build an HTML page and you would have the head, you would have the body, and then that would be your page. So that would all be the HTML. It'd be encompassed in HTML tags. Okay. You would also have the external style sheet attached to it and then the JavaScript attached to it. So you would have 3 files that would make up the page. And when the browser went and looked for the page, it would call the whole page. What WordPress does is they create small chunks. Okay, so they will create header chunks, they will create body chunks, they will create footer chunks. And then, like if you have a sidebar, they'll create a sidebar chunk. Or if you have products, you have little products. And so each of those are parts that get pulled in together to create the page. Well, because you have different pages, you may be pulling the header for everybody's page, and some themes will say always pull this header.php file. So it's a get. It says get the header PHP, and it pulls that into the page itself. And then you decide kind of the layout of the page, like where boxes are going to be, and if you're going to have the um, posts show up on the page. So you're going to have the loop on the page of all the posts show up. What you're going to have on the page, whether you're going to have the text content or images, all of that is pulled onto the page in the way the page lays out. And then you pull the footer. So you have the content area, you have the header and the footer, and you do gets for those. When you do the gets, you can create what's called a template page. So a single template page is usually the page that is used for posts and pages that builds a page out. It's just kind of the skeleton that builds the page out. And as you pull different blocks in it like builds that out a little bit bigger. I feel a little bit like I'm kind of like stumbling over that, but pretty much WordPress works with templates opposed to building a whole page like you would if you were coding out an HTML page. They do the gets to get the pages. Does that make sense? Kinda, sorta. Okay, if you have questions, please stop me and ask me. I'll try to explain it a little bit better. But if you look at this right here, this top part here where it has the header has like this logo area and then it has the nav area. Those could be template parts. So you have template parts that are built into a page. So like this logo could be a template part. This navigation could be a template part. And then in the footer, you could have widgets in the template part. So there's a lot of template parts that you can modify. You can modify template parts to be unique to a single page, or you can modify them to be globally across the whole site. So template parts can be modified uniquely to the page, or they can be modified globally across the whole website. So you can say, okay, I'm modifying this template part and it's going to show everywhere, or I'm modifying this template part and it's only going to show on this single page. Okay, so that is where this editor comes in, is that we have template parts and template pages, and it lets us modify those and decide what we want them to look like and how we want them to look like when the browser calls them. So it gives you a lot more flexibility to make changes to the layout with the header and footer, where with the old themes that used to use the customizer, the header and the footer and the widgetized areas were kind of like all kind of static. You were stuck with whatever the theme builder decided was the best way to build it out, or the options that they give you. Sometimes they would give you options to put the logo at the center of the page and the nav underneath it. And sometimes they'd let you put the navigation in a hamburger menu. But you were kind of stuck with whatever they decided to build out and the options in the customizer that they'd let you use. With the theme editor, you get to do whatever you want. Okay, so based on a full site editing, you get um, template parts, you get template pages, and then with the themes will build out patterns that you can use across the templates, okay, and make the layout of your pages any way you want. Okay, so we'll go into the editor. And this takes you into another editor where the customizer took you into the editor that was white. Okay, this takes you into a navigation that is the black, and these allow you to actually see the template parts, some styles. So these would be global styles across the website. Remember when we picked these styles on 2024 with WordPress.com, it was going to make us update the website, um, or upgrade the website to a paid version. You also have the availability to edit the styles to be anything you want. Okay, so you could choose patterns, you can pull in things. It does give you a lot of options in building that out. So this took me into working with the styles on this page. I'm going to exit this or close this because that's really not where I want it to be. It closed out the styles that I was in. So all I had to do was click on my logo over here, um, and it brought me back to where I could go to the styles. Again, the arrows allow me to go in and out of the options that I'm looking at. The navigation, this is the navigation, and it's showing you the order of the navigation that it's in right here. It's not showing me all of the pages that I had, but I do know that I want my home to be first, and I know this is sometimes not fun. So edit page list. I think, oh, I can move it up and down here too. So I can move it up by just going to the arrows and move it up. Frequently questions, I want that to go down. Fostering news, I want to go to the very bottom. And you can do foster news. And you should be able to, like, I should be able to click and drag this. Oh, okay, that did work. I should be able to click and drag it to bring it down there. So I had to click on it so it highlighted it before it would let me click and drag it. So as you can see, it makes the modifications here. Okay, and then I can review my changes. I don't want to leave there, so I can review the changes and then save them. So down here is the blue button at the bottom instead of at the publisher at the top. You can review, change, and make your changes to the navigation. The navigation is a little different in that you can edit the actual navigation and go in here where it kind of isolates the template part, the navigation template part. And with this one, if I want to add another item here, I can look and see if there's one here. And I notice that I am missing. I thought I had another one out here. Oh, I had the the one that was the URL. So if I want to put in a URL here, I type in what I wanted it to be and then add the URL to it. So the link name, if I want to add, I'm just going to put in JCC. Okay, so that added JCC EDU. If I wanted to change that to just JCC, and then again, if you want to save it, the save is over here at the right, the save button that saves it. And then it says post update, but down here at the bottom is kind of a status bar or like a breadcrumb of where you are. And so we're in the navigation menu, so you know that. And I should be able to come back here and then do my arrows to get back to where I was before. Okay, so, and again, now I have the option to put this underneath maybe the services if I want. So I could drag this under the services, and I think I should be able to pull it over. Okay, yeah, you just have to gently pull it over to the right a little bit, and it will put it as a sub menu item. So you do have the same thing. You have the drags and drops. They're just a little more finessing you have to do with them. So just be, if you're in the navigation and not the editor, so you can actually see it here, you have the availability to grab items and put them as sub items underneath things. You also have this option thing to say, move it down, remove it. You have all of those options there too with the three little dots on your options here. And again, you have the options here to edit or duplicate your navigation. Okay, so take a couple minutes, play with your navigation, add a couple other items or manipulate it. You will notice that when we move from a customizer theme to a full site editing theme, we do have to work with it to make it look the way we want because it's not just going to automatically give us these beautiful styles and look the way we want. We're going to have to make modifications to make it. So they used to say that you could flip between themes with very minimal amount of effort. I don't think if you flip between a customizer theme to a full site editing theme, it is the same thing. You do have to do some work to make it look the way you want. So there is a little more work to getting it the way you want it to look. I do have another person's YouTube video out there for the 2024 theme that goes into a lot of detail about using um, the the full site editing capabilities, and I do recommend you watch it. It's about a half hour, definitely worth watching, and he gives you a lot of really good tips and tricks.
So he refers to cadence quite a bit. I saw that on the
Oh, okay. That's
on
a builder. So he does like Cadence. I like Divi. So they are page builder type websites where they have the sections and rows, and I'm going to show you guys that too.
but the cadence is a customizer.
The Cadence is, let me put it this way. Cadence is before we had full site editing, and Divi is before we had full site editing. And
Uh,
it is the availability to make modifications to the header and footer that we weren't able to do before. And the page layout, like the way the page looks, where you used to have to, you were just kind of stuck with whatever the theme builder gave you. I always said back when the theme builders had more control and we didn't have the full site editing, that the theme builders would get you about 80% of the way there. The other 20% you had to code with CSS or HTML to get what you wanted. Okay. Now with the full site editing capabilities and the page builders, most people can get there 100% without having to resort to coding. And that's why a lot of people like WordPress, is because if they don't know how to code, a lot of times they can get their pages built the way they want without having to know any code. They can drag and drop things where they want them. It helps to know code. It always helps to know code. Um, Definitely, you're going to know and understand margins, padding, backgrounds, and all of the CSS style things that you need to know to modify the things that you want to modify. Okay, how's everybody doing with their navigation? This can be a little frustrating. I do know that it can be frustrating in that it sometimes doesn't quite work the way you think it's supposed to be working. But you can click on different parts. It will bring those up and let you choose patterns or make modifications yourself. So here I have the whole like header here, and here in the header I can edit the header parts. Um, I can put in an image here if I want. So I could actually add my puppy dog here. I think that one will work. Um, if I was really doing this, I'd probably just have the outline of the puppy so it didn't quite look that way. I could add the tagline in here if I wanted. So underneath here, I could add. So it's the block builder. And so what this does, it creates, um, this is a parent block group. And then if I go into the parent block group, that's just a paragraph that it's grabbing the site title, but I also could grab the tagline if I want it. If I wanted to modify to have the navigation in the center and this at the top, I can modify those and the way it looks. So this is where it gives you the options to make all these changes instead of like having this. I could change like the width and how much I'm really going to let it display instead of it going all the way across. Again, once I'm done, you just save. you save, and then you go back to, and it tells you the template part was updated. So the header template part was updated, and so now that will take that change wherever that is being used will be used across everywhere. Okay. And these are the template parts when I'm looking at them. So underneath the patterns, it has my template parts and it shows me that I have one header right now defined. I have one footer defined, and this is where I could go through and modify this and change this so that I don't have all these different columns here. Remove that. I have two general layouts. I have a sidebar layout, which somebody could use, and then I have post metas if I want to use. So these are things that came with the 2024 that were already built for me. Okay, so I have those 4 template parts that are building out my pages. I have all these patterns that are out here that I can use on any page or any post. So all of these patterns are normally used. Actually, there's a lot of them. So it's really kind of nice that they're all out here. And you can actually see that per the different different pages I might want to build. I have all these template parts that are already built out for me now, or patterns that are already built out for me. I don't have to use them, and I can add my own patterns and name them anything I want. And that's part of that. Like John was saying, he was watching him and he was making the pattern based on his name. So it's really kind of nice. And there's different call to action ones, and they're kind of grouped in different ways. So on my services page, when I finally go to my services page, I might want to pick one of these patterns or not, and then build it out my own. If I have teams, I could use this pattern. If I want to modify the footer, there's these, and I actually like this footer better than having the column footer. This footer has the logo centered, and I could even go in here if I really didn't even need the logo at the bottom of my page, and I don't really think I do anymore. With most websites, the the header navigation is kind of sticky, so you really don't need it to have the logo be at the top and the bottom of the page, just like you don't need the navigation at the top and the bottom of the page. But it is something to think about. The email's kind of nice there. This little logo, it's okay. But yeah, you
To
can.
choose it, do you just click on the box underneath it?
So here, I think we would probably have to go back into our page, okay, and then we'd have to click into um, our footer, and I don't know why it brings all of this stuff up because it looks like it thinks I want to change the footer. So I'm going to edit the footer. And so then when I come here, I should be able to, so it's a group. I should be able to go find a pattern out here. And change the pattern out. So what I would probably do is delete this, insert box, go to patterns, go to footers, find the one I like, and save. And then right here, I don't like the logo, so I would probably go here and delete the logo. I don't know if I really want the navigation there either, so I would probably get rid of the navigation. I would probably come in here. I'm deleting the parts. How do I get the whole thing? I want to get the whole thing here. Oh, there. So then I should be able to grab it all. Okay, so then I would probably come in here where I can actually add another block. and I would come in here and add another block. I would probably add a text block in here because I definitely like to put in so I put in all rights reserved, puppies 2024. You could also put in the copyright. I thought that should work, but that doesn't look like it's working. You might have to go into edit as HTML and then come in here and put in the copy. Okay, so that worked. So you could always go in with the 3 dots. I could pull in another pattern. I could edit it. And then I probably would come in and make this small, but all rights reserved. And then I'd probably put in another navigation that had my terms of service and privacy policy in the footer, but I probably wouldn't have what they had. I kind of like that it says that it was built by WordPress. Let me save that.
Where did you get the HTML edition?
So when I was in here, the text, I just came to the options, the 3 little dots going vertically. I came to the very bottom where it says
Oh,
edit as
okay.
HTML, and it lets me edit it as HTML. So
Okay.
that gives me that option right there. Once you're done, just save and save. I would probably come in here. So here at the top left, it lets me make my style changes. And this is a little large for a footer for me. So I would probably come in here and make it small so that it's the smallest text it can be. I could also come into the typography and put in the actual size I want. So I could put in like if I wanted it to be 0.85 EM, I could put that in. I have that option. Okay, I again designed with WordPress. I don't mind that being there. I probably make that pretty small too, but I do kind of like that. But then I would probably put in a navigation. So I would probably come in here, blocks, and let's see. Navigation. And with the navigation, I would probably put in terms of service, create a draft page, and then privacy policy. Create another draft page, and then I would probably get rid of these 2 pages. And again, I would probably go into editing these and template parts, it's pretty big for me, but I don't know. I think those would probably be fine. And so that's probably what I do. The design with WordPress, that's up to you. It doesn't bother me that it says it's designed by WordPress, but you might want to even put in here designed by your design company. So we could do JCC student. And if I could spell. uh, Okay, and so then here you would just come in here and edit like where this is going to. So instead of WordPress.org, it go to jcc.edu somewhere. So you guys could go ahead and save that, and that could be your new footer. It is a template part, and there are 2 site changes waiting. So we've made those. I'm going to go back. And then I'm going to go back again, and I am going to refresh. And here, well, my navigation is gone. Let me go look at my footer. Okay, so that's there, but my navigations aren't showing. So I'm going to have to go figure out what I did with my navigations. But for some reason, they're not showing. So I'll have to go back and figure out why they're not there. But other than that, we've made the changes, but then you also have the availability to go in here and edit the site. But the one thing to be aware of with this, you do have to make sure that you are using the settings where the customizer was doing a lot of the things that you have to go in here for the settings. So like the site title and the tagline where we were able to use the customizer for it, we have to use the general settings. I also have to go in here and change my time zone and make sure that I'm writing the things that I want to the correct way. So make sure if you're using a full site editor, you are definitely doing your settings. Okay. And this is where people were not doing their settings when they were using the customizer because they were thinking they were getting everything done with the customizer, and you really aren't. And so this kind of forces you to do that. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the editor, go back to my navigations. Okay, so I got rid of this one, rename. So I'm going to put in footer, nav, and then my other one I'm going to have to create. So I'm creating a header nav and a footer nav. And now I'm going to have to go in and okay, so you have to click in here to find your pages. And so here I have to find my home page, my FAQs, services, Foster News. I had one other one. I can't remember what the name of it was. Oh, I had created a URL. Okay, so I don't need that one. Okay, so save that. Save. Okay, this isn't doing what I thought it would do with it. I know I have my two out here, my two template parts. I just have to figure out how to get them on my page. So that is one of the fun things with this new site editor is when you go in here, um, you do have to figure out. Okay, so that's there and it's showing down here. Oh, and these may not be showing. Oh, I know why these aren't probably showing is because they're drafts. But edit. Okay, so it did say that I updated the template part. Let's knock on wood and see if I really did. So I'm just hitting, okay, so that's what I had to do. The other two are in a draft status, so that's probably, and I probably have to update the template part down here too. So I had to create the two template parts that were different than just navigation because when I just used the word navigation, it was putting it in both places. So you do have to name them. That is something where we were able to do with a customizer pretty easy. It let us tell us where we were using them with the customizer, and it also let us rename them before we even started adding items to them. With this, we could add the items to them, but then we have to rename them and then add it to the template part. So that is one of the differences with this is that you do have to kind of know what you want because I did know what I wanted in the navigation and then work with it to let you put it where you want to and make sure you get it saved to the template part. Okay, so I had to save it to the header template part. Okay, where I was just creating it and the navigations, but I hadn't saved it to the template part. So let me go to the pages now, and I should have two draft pages, and I do have a privacy policy here that's a draft too, and terms of service. So if I edit my pages and then I just publish and publish them, we'll see if these show up. I think I'm going to get rid of this one because I had one that was created based on the settings over here. Because settings has this privacy one. So I'm going to go ahead and edit this one and save it and then make that part of my menu. Okay, with the privacy policy, you do have to go through and just make sure that your name and have some legal person look at it. So privacy policies and terms of service should be reviewed by somebody in the legal profession. Just so you guys know. And then this one I'm going to trash. Okay, so those are now, and refresh. Okay, so now terms of service is showing up, but privacy policy isn't because I deleted it, the page. So now I need to put that in this template part. I need to add that privacy policy down here as part of that navigation. So I have to go to the footer nav and modify it and make sure that terms of service is there. Okay. So go ahead, play with some navigations for about, how are you guys doing? Are you guys following along with me or are you struggling with this? So when you're working with the template parts, there is the tool that is the selector and the edit that kind of goes here. You have the availability to undo or redo. You also have the availability to go to this list view, which is very helpful in knowing which blocks you pulled in. And then you can pull these and look at these and modify these here also. So I guess I could make this a group, this navigation a group, um, but it does have a navigation name. And it does show you the parts here where you can actually come here and add more items to this menu if you want to. So once you have the navigation open here, on the right, it opens here and allows you to add more blocks here. So here is where I could probably put in the custom link too, if I want it. And as you click on these, this opens up the information on the block information to work on it. It also allows you to put in additional CSS classes or to apply styles globally. So if you create a class, you can also apply them globally, which is kind of nice because you want to not have to go to every single page, especially if you have 200 pages and modify something. So definitely if you can do anything globally, that's the best way to go. And then the patterns, you can actually use the patterns in the body part if you want. It's a good way to pull in different things, see what's available as call to actions, um, things you might want to change. I like that one. So not synced. I don't know what that means. Are all yours saying not synced when you're looking at them here?
Yeah, I think most of mine say that.
Hmm. Yeah, because all those patterns should be available for us to use. It's very interesting. I guess we could try to duplicate a pattern and then make it our own. So here, if I do duplicate, I don't know if it put it in the bottom or where it put it. That's interesting.
Um, yeah, so I duplicated one and there was a option to sync it and then it put it in a My Patterns folder.
Oh, okay. So my patterns. Okay, so there it went to my patterns. Okay, so then it's synced. Okay, so then if it's synced, it allows you to make changes to it set. So then I should be able to make changes to it. And I've got my one puppy. We've got all those puppy pictures out there. You guys can grab any of those you want. And then I might not want both of those, or I might want to add another one. So I might want to have 3 buttons, and then you can change your wording here if you want, or change anything you want here, which is pretty cool. Okay, so save. Save. And then I could go look at patterns. So then I could choose a pattern. I'm actually going to go here and browse all, and it's going to bring up all my block options here, but then I also have the patterns, and then where it brought up the My Patterns, I can actually bring in my puppy dog. And so that is the first pattern. And now this can be used across other pages. So I could have different changes and change the wording and everything here. So okay, so you could put in whatever you want for yours. And then save. And I know there's lots of patterns out there, so you guys could go play with those and edit those. I do recommend you make one change to the homepage for today's class. So go ahead and play with that.
What kind of change?
Put something in this. Okay, so I want you to have a top nav. I want you to have a footer nav or change your header and your footer. I'd like you to put something on the home page. I don't care what you put on the home page. You can pick any pattern you want. Okay. And probably something similar to where you want your final to end up might be a good thing because then you can kind of see what it's going to look like. I definitely recommend you see what it's going to look like at the different viewport sizes.
Once you duplicated the pattern, where does it show?
It goes to my patterns. So if you go and look at all the patterns, so here, let me go to dashboard and I'll go to a page and I'm just going to go to the services page. And so I added a block here. Okay, so here these are showing up, all these patterns here, and I don't want those. So I'm going to just close that. But I'm going to come to this option, the little square with the plus, and click on that. And then if you browse all, the very bottom here, you browse all, it will show you blocks, patterns, media. Go ahead and go to patterns, and there is the option My Patterns, and it'll display under My Patterns.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Uh-huh. Control Z or Command Z also goes backwards if you ever need to.
Have a quick review again on how to add the pattern to your page.
Okay, so if you go to your page and you're adding it, the one thing about the pattern is going to come up and bring up all these patterns for you to put in. Close that out, and then you have the square with the plus. And if you click on that and you come to Browse All, the very bottom here, it has blocks, patterns, and media over here on the left. Click on patterns, and your pattern should be under My Patterns.
It's going crazy.
It's going crazy?
It's just going flashing. Okay, now it stopped.
Okay, good.
In my patterns, okay. I'm to my patterns.
And is it under there?
Yes.
Okay. And
But
then
then how do you move it on to
you can
use it for
click
your
on
page?
it or drag and drop it.
Oh, okay. Hmm. Oh, okay. Hmm.
Um,
Mhm.
yeah, when I try to add a pattern to a page, there are no search results. It just doesn't pull up any of my patterns. It says there's nothing.
So you do have to save when you save them. Do you think you did or did not do that?
I can check. So I have, yeah, I have one item in my patterns. It's a copy of the hero pattern that I edited.
So
I have
you
no
do.
option to save it. The button is like dark blue. I can't click on it, so I assume it's saved.
Okay. So if it is okay, so if it's dark blue like this,
No, no, like it's the text is kind of grayed out.
like that.
I don't know. Yes, yeah,
Okay.
like that.
Okay. So let me finish this. Okay. So I basically Let's have you share your screen if you can.
Um, so I've got this pattern, and it's out of the way.
Okay, so it's called
So
Hero Copy.
yeah,
Okay,
so I can't say that it's, for
okay.
all I know, it's saved.
So instead of doing the back arrow, that's one thing that WordPress does not like. I'll just let you
Okay,
know that. So see your little book there?
yeah,
Okay, so click on that. That's better.
okay,
So go to My Patterns. Okay, so there it is. Okay, so now you have to go to a page to do something with it. Okay, so no, not the pages here. Okay, this is where you're in the editor and you have to get
okay,
out of the editor. So get out of the design, get out of the pages here. So click the book again.
yeah.
Okay, and then you're in WordPress.com?
I thought you said we weren't in cPanel.
You're not in cPanel, but you should be at your website. I gave
Yeah,
you a website that you should have created a website. You shouldn't be working in WordPress.com,
okay,
but that's okay.
yeah.
Go
No,
ahead.
there is one. I think there's something weird though, because there were a lot of edits made to it that I didn't make, and I believe I have my login information mixed up with somebody else's. Um, I didn't realize there was somebody in the class named Miles Hall, but I think I have like their login information. I have like mhall67.
Oh, yes,
So I
yes.
didn't want to mess with
So,
those websites.
okay, yeah, leave that alone and I will go and get you yours right now. But yeah, okay,
Yeah,
the reason you might not be able to do it is because WordPress.com won't let you do it unless you upgrade.
I see. Okay.
Okay, so the things you're doing, you have to be doing on your own
Okay,
self-hosted.
on the
Okay,
domain.
yeah, and
Okay.
I am so sorry about that.
No, that is
I,
all right. I didn't want to,
s-
I noticed it about halfway through class and I didn't want to interrupt, but
okay,
um I
okay.
I was sent like an msteel5 login with a password, but that doesn't work.
Okay, so let me keep the rest of it is the same. Here, stop showing me
Oh
your,
yeah,
yeah, your stuff. You don't want everybody to see it. Let
that's
me
fair. Yeah.
send you the new password. They did update the passwords after I sent the originals. Okay, so let me come through here. I have to find it again in my junk. Yeah, no, the passwords were like so like crazy hard. And I think maybe two of you guys got it working. And then the person that did it said, "Oh, here, let me give you a new set of passwords." So still, yeah, 2 miles. This is crazy. Okay.
Yeah, I wish I'd noticed sooner. I just didn't realize there was somebody else with kind of the same name. I just figured, the username is what it is.
Okay, so try that. I put it in chat directly to you. I can email it to
Okay,
you too if you'd like.
let me give that a try. Um,
Yeah, you guys were both probably really confused if you both were changing each other's stuff. You're probably like, "Oh my goodness, what's going on here?"
yeah, I was like, I did not do any of this.
Okay.
So I feel bad. I think I might have change some things. I didn't change any of the content though.
Okay.
Okay, that worked with
Okay.
my username.
Okay. So you can get on now.
Got it.
Okay.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
I'll have to
it will
start over from
work. It
scratch.
will work a lot better for you now because WordPress.com, unless if you're on the free version, pretty much blocks you from doing a lot of stuff. Okay.
Yeah. Um,
Okay, guys. We've only got 5 minutes left. I'm going to show you. There is this Divi theme out there that you guys can go into the files and pull down the zip file if you want. You don't have to. It's something that you'll be able to play with while we're in class, but outside of class or anything else you're doing outside of class, you cannot use it. It is my personal property that I'm letting you guys play with. So please be respectful and only use it for what we're doing in class. So I wanted to show you if you purchase a theme, you can go out and do appearance and you can do add new. And then instead of using the themes that are in the repository, you can upload a theme. And so to do that, you would choose a file and it has to be in a zip format. Okay, and so I have this Divi theme that's in the zip format and you select it. And like I said, these are in the files if you guys want to try. You install it. Okay. Maybe we aren't able to do this. This could be because it's the student, it is JCC's not letting me do it, but it as the zip file, I should be able to open it and install. Okay, they must have something blocked that we can't bring zip things into this, which in that case, you'd have to use the FTP, which, yeah, it's not worth it. But normally, that's what you do. You do the zip and you open it up. What I will do is come over here, get another tab over here real quick and open up a website for you guys. Excuse me. And this is a page builder theme, which is really nice. So this is one of my websites. And you can see I have lots of stuff going on here. And I'm using the Divi builder here. So if I go to pages and want to create a new page, so if I do add new, it will let me use the block editor with all the functionality that comes with the block editor. It will also let me use Divi, and with the Divi builder, so I'm just going to do, okay, so I'm just going to create a play page. I'm going to use the Divi builder to create it. With the Divi builder, you can build on the back end or the front end. And you can use pre-made layouts or build from scratch. If I use a pre-made layout, it can use one of my existing pages that I've already got out here. Sorry, I do a lot of crazy stuff. Or you can use a pre-made layout, which is something they have. So if I find a design or something I like, so maybe I like this fashion one here, I can grab it. It already has everything there. I can drag and drop it into this page, modify it so that it works with my stuff. This is my art and clothing page, but So this would be a really good one. I could look at this pack and see what's in it and say, okay, oh, I like the latest news. That's where I could do the blog. I could do the services like profile. This one's really kind of nice, this little layout. Just could put my clothes up in here and show people just like the designs of the clothes that I create. So all of this is stuff that you can do with page builders. They have a lot of pages already built for you. I'm going to close that. I'm going to close this. And to build from scratch, first thing you do is you add a row and you decide like how many columns you're going to have. Like, is it going to be full width? Are you going to have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 columns? What are you going to have in those columns? So if I do 2 columns, and then in each of the columns, instead of blocks, these are called modules. And so the modules are similar to the same things that are blocks on the WordPress, and it just lets me put in information here. So I can put in a text block, then just check. I'm not, it has AI generating too, but I don't use that. I could put in an accordion. That lets me put in accordion information. It gives me a lot of options that lets me build things out the way I want them to. And then above this, I could put in like the header of what this is. And then I could put in another row and put in 3 columns on that one and then go through and build it that way. So it does let me do that. It does feel very like, um, ah, it's just really easy to drag and drop and dump things in here. Um, but it also gives me the option to put code in here. Like here, I could put a circle counter here. Um, I think there's like a graph. I thought there was a graph, maybe bar counter. So I could go through and like design this to look any way I want. I also have the availability to style each of these where we style with WordPress. In here, I just click in here, open up the module, and all this comes up as styling information where I can come here and make changes to like the background. I can put that in a black background. Okay, and let's see. I could put some spacing here and like put the padding of for view H. So I can change the way it looks. So I have a lot of options with this to just kind of create pages the way I want. I like it, but I've had it since before the WordPress allowed for the patterns and the blocks that they have now. So this and that both feel very comfortable to me. I feel comfortable using either one. Okay. This one I do use more just because you get so used to doing things, and then like I have to publish down here, and then this would be a page that's out there, but it won't show until I actually put it up on my menu. But that is today's class. You guys, if you want to play with a page builder, Polestar is a page builder. The other one that is out there, Elementor, both of those are page builders. If you guys want to play with page builders, this Hello theme and the Polestar theme both work with page builders. And I think they both work with Elementor. So you'd have to install, it tells you you have to install some plugins for it to work. But it is kind of fun to play with them. So if you install this and you activate it would tell you, okay, you have to install the plugin Elementor here. Okay. So you do have that you have to work with. And again, once you change the theme, you're going to have to work and modify anything that you make changes to. At this point, we're done for tonight. You guys can